I guess we're here. We are live. I have a frog in my throat this morning. Is that you, Rona? Nope, it's not Rona because I feel really good. I don't have any fever. I don't have a runny nose. I had a little cough and now I sound like a monster. I don't know what's wrong. So if y'all can just bear with my growly, gravelly throat, we'll get through this day. So, have you been working on caring? The Bible says if you will carry each other's burdens, you will fulfill the law of Christ. What is the law of Christ? Well, I don't know everything about the law of Christ, but I know God is all loving. So as long as you look for people to help and love on them, you're going to be fulfilling the law of Christ. It's not hard. Jesus said, take my burden on you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So used to, when they had to plow fields, there were no tractors or no plows. There were no machines to do it. So they had to get the biggest, strongest cows they could, and they were called ox. And they would put a yoke, a long board on this ox, and to that board they would hook just a plow. It didn't have any motor in it. It was just like blades. And they would usually do 2 or 3 oxen, and so it was a hard job. And those big, strong ox, they would just pull through the dirt. Well, Jesus said if we put on his yoke, it's not hard. It's just easy, and if we love each other and we help carry each other's burdens, we're going to have a much easier day. So think on caring today, and we are going to get right into our writing, and we are writing a personal narrative, and I'm so excited about it because I get to share an interesting event in my life with you, the day that we went to the mountains. And so I'm just going to review a little bit. So we started out with an introduction. You need to let people know what you're talking about. So you have to introduce them to your subject. So I said, one time I went to the mountains. One time is a good way to introduce your readers to what you're fixing to tell them. One time I scrambled eggs by myself. That'd be pretty exciting if you were young. One time I invented a new recipe. I called it whatever you called it. So it can be something you've done, somewhere you've went, something that's happened to you. You know, it could even be something very sad, because I like sharing sad events with people too, because that helps me care for them, helps me understand why they think the way they do. So anything that's on your heart you want to share, it is okay to share. All right, so then we know one good way to write this paper is to include 3 details. So we just started out and we just did some pictures and put some clue words up here. And then we started our writing. So one time I went to the mountains. The mountains were huge and beautiful. I used some words that helped us see in our mind what they looked like. And then I told what we did. We took a 10-mile hike up the mountain. You notice I put 10 mile. I didn't just say a long hike. I told you how long it was. So you know if it's 10 miles, ooh, that is, a 3-mile hike is a long hike, but a 10-mile hike, that's a doozy. All right. We saw a breathtaking, I love that word I used. And today we're going to look at how to use a thesaurus. So I didn't just want to keep saying, I saw a beautiful mountain. I saw a beautiful lake. I saw a beautiful stream. I saw beautiful trees. It just gets boring to the reader after a while. They're just like, when is this going to end? So if you use some different words that have the similar meanings or the same meanings, it can help the reader stay interested. It can help them get a new perspective. We saw a breathtaking lake. After a long climb, we finally reached the top. I like that word finally in there because it kind of lets the people know, oh, wow, they'd been doing this for a little while and they're probably getting really tired, and then they finally reached the top. So just a little word here and there can really help your reader experience what you were going through. Okay, so my next detail was that we came down the mountain and I felt like a noodle. It was At the time, it was not funny, but looking back, it was so very funny because I just thought, I can't. And going down was the easy part, but I was like, I can't. But I had to because it was the only way to get to the car. On the way down, I was so tired. My body felt like a limp noodle. Now, I use limp noodle because that is a picture almost everybody has. Everybody knows when you pick up a spaghetti noodle, what a limp noodle looks like. So that was a good image that I gave people to know exactly what I felt like. I just felt like I couldn't even stand up. I just didn't think I could. And so then that was sentence number 3. Now, I already taught you on opinion writings. We need a closing sentence. And so maybe kindergarten students don't know this, and that might be a little much for them. But y'all are in 1st and 2nd grade, so y'all are big kids. And so I'm going to teach you the next step. You need a closing. You need an introduction to tell people what you're going to think about. You need details to share the story. And then you need a closing to let people know you're not just hanging there. It's done. It's over. It's a good feeling for people to know, okay, this story is over. It's the way our minds work. So I want to tell people that even though it was a tiring day, it was a fun day. But tiring, that I've already used, we were so tired. I was so tired. So I don't want to just keep using tired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squinch myself down. Oh, guess I'm not. And there goes Miss Amy up into the corner. Oop, not moving it. Okay, and then I am going to pick this eye. There we go. Now I can share my screen with you. And I am going to look up thesaurus. 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 Hit enter, and it comes up. Thesaurus.com, synonyms and antonyms. Synonym means the same. You can tell because it has an S. Antonym is opposite. So I'm going to put tiring in the search bar. And I'm just going to come over here to this little magnifying glass. That means search. So I'm going to click it. All right. Tiring. Exhausting. Right there. Exhausting. That is what my day was. It was exhausting. Neat, neat, neat. So you can look and you can find other words if that's not what you wanted. It was demanding. That's kind of like more thinking, like math is demanding. Or if you have to think a lot, it's more demanding. Exacting, that is more like if you're paying somebody. Taxing, that can be paying, but it can be taxing like, to me that means the same thing as demanding. What could be taxing? Oh, after it was a taxing day, figuring out how much we owed the bank and all of our bills. So that's very taxing on your mind. But exhausting, it's more physical labor. And that's exactly what we had, was physical labor. So I'm going to close this back down. I'm going to turn my little display screen off and pull Miss Amy back down. Whoops. I want to grow myself. Oops. I need a mouse because this little keypad I have on this printer is hard to use. Here I come. Oops. You're going to be like, Miss Amy, learn to edit your videos. So we don't have to see you making all your mistakes. There we go. All right. So I'm going to use that word exhausting. And now you know how to look up thesaurus for a different word like tired or beautiful or pretty or I like it or it's better. Just look up a different word. All right. So on the way down, I was so tired. My body felt like a... No, that's not it. On the way down, I was so tired. My body felt like a limp noodle. That was sentence number 3. Now I want you to put a 4. On the back of your paper, you're going to put a 4. A 4. And I said, it was an exhausting day, but so much fun. Now, everybody knows it's over because I summarized the whole experience. It was tiring, but fun. It was an exhausting day, but so much fun. Okay, so when you get that done, we have a whole essay. And it's just, it doesn't look like an essay yet, but it actually is. Because we've got our introduction. One time I went to the mountains. And then we have 3 details. Number 1, huge and beautiful. Number 2 is a 10-mile hike. And number 3, on the way down, also tired, all that jazz. And then number 4, a closing. So tomorrow, all we are going to do is just look at our notes and just write the paper. And it was so easy. When you do things one step at a time, it makes it so easy. I saw this saying one time, and I can't remember if it was who the author was, but it said, inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. So have you ever seen a yardstick? Well, an inch is about this big. So if you do it this little steps at a time, is easy peasy. A yardstick is like really big. I can't show you because it's bigger than my screen. But it'd be like bonk, bonk. It's all hard to take those big steps. So anytime you have a hard task, just break it down into small little steps. Do not look at the whole thing. Just look at the step you have to do right now and do it. And then, okay, now I'm ready for my next step. And that helps us overcome the dread of the whole project. All right, so that's all we have for today, and I will see you again in just a minute.